What is going on, everybody? It's Alex back with another video. So I've actually been wanting to make this video for quite some time, but I didn't really know how to do it, when to do it, so I figured why not just do it now. So today we have a Q&A. So I gathered a bunch of questions that I get asked a lot during streams in the comments, just questions that keep reoccurring that you guys really want to know. So I kind of compiled those together into a list and I'm going to be answering them while playing Xbox. So I figured I should probably start off by answering the question that I get asked so many times. During the streams, I get asked this probably 100 times during the stream. I get asked this in comments and videos and everything. I get asked this question so much. So I'm going to try to give it the best answer I can. So the question is, Alex, what is your favorite car? Now, that is a really hard question. I've never been the guy that's just like, this is my favorite car. Like, I've always been like, okay, this is cool, whatever. But is it really my favorite car? Like, that's a big decision to make. So my answer isn't necessarily straightforward. Because there's certain things I like for certain situations. For example, I think aesthetically, the R34, like the final edition R34, is probably my favorite car aesthetically, but I probably wouldn't buy one. I would say the car that, if money wasn't an issue, the car that I would buy now, it would probably be an R35 GTR, and then I would do all kinds of modifications to it. But honestly, I can't really set my eyes on one specific car, because right now I'm saying R35. Next year I may be saying something completely different. The year after that it may be something completely different. So my opinions change, everything changes. So I mean, I've always loved GTRs, so I mean, keeping in that family is probably the best answer. But honestly, just saying like specifically, yes, the R35 is my favorite car, I don't know if that's completely true. So that's kind of the closest answer I can get. I would say probably some form of a GTR is my favorite car, but I'm not really sure. It changes all the time. So kind of going along with your favorite car and everything, the second question I get a lot is, do you plan on buying a cool car in the near future? Now, my answer to that is, again, kind of complex. So, would I like to? Of course, but I mean, I'm a full-time college student. I don't have a job right now. Like, I'm just doing YouTube as a hobby and stuff, and I would love to, depending on how YouTube works out for me, very potentially I could, if it works out how I hope it will, it's very possible that I could be buying a car in the near future, next 3 years or so is what I'm thinking. But again, that's completely dependent on school, YouTube, how everything works out. So there's no promises there. It's not like something I'm looking at, but it is a possibility. And basically what I would be buying would be like something, I know it's very like stereotypical for YouTubers and stuff, but something along the lines of like a BRZ or something like that. Something fairly cheap, fairly reliable, and something that I can work on. Because I mean, that's my goal. I don't want just a car that's like complete when you buy it. I want to buy a car that is nothing too special, but then I want to make it my own and really make it a project car to make it unique. That's what I'm looking for. So potentially within the next 3 or 4 years, I would love to have some kind of project car. So some of you guys may be wondering, if I'm so into cars, so obsessed with cars, like everything I do with my life revolves around cars, why do I drive an automatic Honda Accord? Next question. So the last car related question I want to answer in this Q&A is, what actually got me into cars? What is it that struck this passion for cars that I essentially want to revolve my life around? And to me, it actually, I didn't realize this for a few years, but it really hit me. So back when PlayStation Portables were a thing, PSPs, back when those were really big, I guess around 5th grade for me, so it was a long time ago. I was a gymnast, which is another question we'll be answering in the future, but I was a gymnast and we used to travel a lot. So basically it would be me and my dad traveling, and I bought this PSP so I could play random games while I'm traveling, have something to do to not annoy my dad in the car as we traveled. And one of the games I had that I played the most was Midnight Club Dub Edition, and without a doubt, that is what got me into cars. That video game right there, which is probably a terrible video game. It is terrible graphics, not realistic at all, but it really struck that interest. Like, I remember different situations where, you know, like I remember we'd be driving down the road and my dad would be like, oh, there's a Ferrari, and I would look at it and be like, I would just like see a blur. Like I couldn't tell the difference between any cars. It would just be like, oh yeah, cool, whatever, keep going. Like when I was really young, I had no passion for cars. There was no interest there. But then after playing that game, seeing the different cars and stuff, that game right there is what struck my passion for cars. Ever since then, I've just been interested in playing video games, seeing them in person, just everything about cars interests me. So I'm curious to see what you guys did. Actually, we talked about this a little bit during my last stream, but I know a lot of you guys weren't there. So leave in the comments, what actually got you involved with cars? I'm curious to see. So this is a really simple question, but I get asked this a lot. So how old am I? I'm 20. I'm actually turning 21 in February 28th. So this month, we're a little bit under a month away, and I turned 21. But yeah, no, I'm just a kid. So a question that I get asked a lot, aside from YouTube, aside from everything else, is what do I actually do with my spare time? Now, this semester it's a little bit different because I have absolutely no spare time doing school and everything. But yeah, I am a full-time student. I study mechanical engineering technology at Kennesaw State University. So I'm working on my bachelor's of science in mechanical engineering technology. I am minoring in graphics and design, and then concentrating in manufacturing. So that is my major. As it sounds, it's a lot of work. I have absolutely no time, but all of that spare time goes into two things. Either my spare time, so primary is school. School comes first. That is my job essentially right now. And then I have two hobbies, passions outside of that. And so obviously YouTube. So I would say video games is another passion of mine that goes aside from YouTube. However, like I said, I don't have time. So all of the video games I play is pretty much recording or streaming. I don't really have time to just play video games for the fun of it. I wish I did. Maybe at a different time in my life I will, but right now I have no spare time to just leisurely play video games. So YouTube kind of goes along with that. The other thing, which a lot of you guys don't know, especially if you haven't been on my streams or seen all of the streams, is lifting. I am meathead. I am a competitive power lifter. You can look at my stats online. Last year I competed in 2 powerlifting competitions. I qualified for nationals. I competed at nationals. It was terrible, but I did it. Yeah, no, I love lifting. I'm a nerd, so I enjoy like finding the science behind like what works and everything. But yeah, no, I am in the gym all the time. I have had to scale it back just a little bit this year because of YouTube. I'm putting that in front of lifting, so that's actually huge for me. But yeah, so basically I'm a full-time student, and I work out a lot. Those are basically the 2 things I do other than YouTube, and other than that, I don't really have much free time, so there you go. So one question I get asked a lot, especially during streams, is what console I play on. And to me, I find this is kind of a random question, because to me, I've heard a lot, I don't know how true this is, but I've heard that Forza Horizon 3, which is what I mainly stream, is not very well optimized for PC, so not a lot of people play it on PC. And it's also a Microsoft Xbox exclusive, so I can't play it on PS4. So I feel like this is a pretty self-explanatory question. But yes, just to answer it, yes, I play all of my games on Xbox One. So one question I get asked a lot, which I think is actually kind of funny. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but a question that I get asked way more than I figured I would is simply, Alex, why do you not answer my question on Xbox? I sent you a message on Xbox and you never responded. Do you hate us? Do you care about your fans? Like, whether this is on comments, but especially on Xbox. And I'm just sitting here like, really? Are you serious, guys? You have to understand, like, I'm not a huge YouTuber or anything, but I still get blown up immediately. Like, the first week of YouTube, I had like 50 subscribers. I had to turn notifications off on Xbox immediately. Because you guys, I mean, nothing wrong. You guys are welcome to contact me in any way, shape, or form. But you guys have to understand that, first of all, I'm busy. I'm working 18-hour days every day. Like, I don't have time to just chill and necessarily look at comments. Like, every chance I get, like right before bed, I will try to respond to a lot of like serious comments and stuff. And I see a lot of your comments. But when it comes to Xbox messages, 100% of the time it is full. It's always 99 plus. Like, I cannot possibly keep up with the messages, so I don't look at Xbox messages at all anymore. Because every time I do, there's like 50 notifications about like invites and stuff like that, and then my message box is just completely full. Now, comments, I do see, I would say 99% of the comments. I don't have time to comment on most of them, but if you guys have a serious question or something like that, I try to answer them as frequently as possible. So yeah, I mean, a lot of it is I just don't have time and priorities. And actually, if you were familiar with that dude in blue, he's a YouTuber, a car YouTuber, not really gaming, but a car YouTuber. He actually posted a video today, so make sure to go check it out. And he basically talks about like why YouTubers don't answer questions. Like really, we don't have time to do that, and a lot of it is not really important. So that's kind of my answer to that. So one question I get asked a lot, which I think is pretty funny, is Alex, what is your favorite video game? Now, I think this is pretty funny. I mean, how I've always seen it is I'm not a super nostalgic person. I kind of like to keep moving in terms of certain things. So pretty much every year there's a new game that is my favorite. And currently right now, as you guys probably can tell, Forza Horizon 3 is by far my favorite game. And to me, it is the greatest game ever created. And I know that's a bold statement, but to me there's nothing that really like captivates and interests me as much as this game has. Like, you know, I started video games with Halo 3. That was the first game I ever played, and I remember my internet was so terrible, I could not play a match. Like, I was literally just like teleporting around, but that was the first game I remember playing. Then I remember Modern Warfare 2 came out, and that was the first game that I actually like enjoyed and got good at. So I mean, those are the games I grew up around. Call of Duty, Halo, you know, those are the games. I remember Forza 4. That was the first like car game that I actually like put a lot of time into. I know I told you guys about the PSP and Midnight Club Dub Edition and stuff, but that was really only when I traveled. Like, I wasn't like looking forward to playing that game, but like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Forza 4, like I remember coming home from school and just wanting to play that game all day. Like, so really, yeah, like I would say Modern Warfare 2 was my favorite game at one point, and I think I probably put more time into that game than any other game. Skyrim, not Halo 3, what is it? Fallout 3. I mean, all these games were my favorite game at one time, but yeah, currently Forza Horizon 3 is my favorite game. There's nothing that compares to it in my book. I understand everyone has their opinions and stuff, but yeah, to me, Forza Horizon 3 is my favorite game, and I think it will probably be that way until Forza Horizon 4 comes out. I hope to be proven wrong. If they can do something like that where I don't have to wait until Forza Horizon 4, that would be insane, but I really don't see that happening. So the last few questions I want to talk about are all about YouTube. So the first one is, how do I record? So it's actually fairly simple. There's a lot of YouTube videos on it, but I can kind of steer you in the right direction. Basically, I use an Elgato HD game capture card, which basically what that does is it transfers the picture you see on your TV, on your screen or whatever, to a computer, whether it's a laptop, a PC, whatever. It basically brings all of that information to the computer, and then I use a program called OBS, Open Broadcaster Software, I believe. And basically that allows me to set up displays and stuff, put the face cam over it and everything, and that allows me to either record the game or stream to YouTube, Twitch, whatever I want to stream with. But it's very simple. So I use Elgato HD, which you can look up online, and then I also use OBS, which there's hundreds and hundreds of YouTube tutorials on how to set that up and stuff. So kind of there's people who can tell you how to set it up a lot better than I can, but that's kind of the basics of what I use to record. So a question about YouTube that I get asked a lot that I think is pretty funny is, do I make a lot of money on YouTube? And to me, I guess maybe a lot of my audience is a lot younger. Maybe they don't have really an understanding of how you make money and stuff, on YouTube at least. And the simple answer is no. I mean, if you did it out and based it on like how much money I make per hour of work I put in, I'd probably make about 50 cents per hour. Obviously it's growing and growing and growing, but right now I've put hundreds of hours into it, and I think I've made about $200, which at the same time is a hell of a lot of money. Like, I couldn't be more grateful, because how I look at it is I'm doing this as a hobby. To me, like, I'm enjoying every minute of it. I enjoy learning how to record. I enjoy learning how to edit. I enjoy putting out the material. I enjoy getting the feedback from you guys. I enjoy streaming. I enjoy connecting with you guys. Like, to me, this is an incredible experience. I enjoy every second of it. So I'm not looking at it like, oh, you know, I'm putting all this work in, but I'm not making much money. I'm looking at it as I'm doing something I love, and I'm making a little bit of money on the side doing it. So No, in terms of actual numerical value, I don't make a lot of money, but for doing something I actually enjoy doing, I think I am making some pretty decent money. So the final question I want to answer is quite simply, what are your goals with YouTube? Now this is a little bit more of an elaborate answer. It's not as simple as you would think. So basically how I'm looking at it right now is quite simply put, my end goal with YouTube obviously is to be able to support myself by doing YouTube. Like, that would be incredible. That is the dream. But I understand that chances are that's not going to happen, or it's not going to happen directly. You know, how I look at life is, if you're going to do something, be passionate about it. Do it all the way. Because a lot of people are like, dude, you're growing really fast. Like, that's incredible. But like, how are you doing that? And how I'm looking at it is, I'm looking at a lot of YouTubers who are around the same size as me. And a lot of them are putting out content and staying as consistent as a really small YouTuber. You know, they're not really putting that much effort into this. They're not really trying to communicate with their fans. They're not really staying on a schedule. Whereas with me, I'm looking at it as, I'm a small YouTuber, very, very, very small YouTuber who's trying to grow. So why would I not try to be as consistent as the bigger guys? Why would I not try to do that? So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to be very consistent. I'm trying to help everyone out. You know, I'm trying to do this to the best of my abilities. And to me, that is working. Like, I am trying to do this as if I'm making all the money in the world and this is my job. You know, that's how I'm taking this. And it's working out very well so fast. My channel is growing. You guys are so supportive. This is the most incredible thing. So how I'm doing it is, yes, right now this is a hobby. School is my job, school is my priority, but obviously if I keep growing like this, there's a potential that by the time I graduate school, I won't even need my degree. That is my end goal. What I want to do is, I want to graduate school with my bachelor's of science in mechanical engineering technology. You know, I want to have that degree, but I want to walk out, get that degree in my hand and be like, I'm in a situation where I don't have to use this because I have a group of people who are helping me out every day. That is my goal with YouTube. Now obviously this is a hobby until it turns into a full-time job. You know, I'm not just gonna like quit school and become a full-time YouTuber unless I actually, period, I will not drop out of school. I'm going to get this degree no matter what. I don't care if something happens and I get 1 million subscribers today and I'm making 100,000 a month. You know, obviously those are unrealistic numbers, but I will not drop out of school. You know, this is a hobby until it becomes a career. So that's what my goals are with YouTube. I want to make it a career, but obviously I understand how much work is going to have to go into that and how much time is going to have to go into that also for that to actually happen. So there you go, guys. There's a Q&A for you. So I answered as many questions as I could, just stuff that I came up with that I know a lot of you people have been asking. I hope I answered your question. If I didn't, make sure to comment it down below. If you ever have a question, just make sure to comment it on this video, comment it on any other video, because again, I do see a lot of your comments. So potentially we could do a Q&A like once a month, once a week. We'll see how it goes, but let me know what your questions are and I will try to answer them. So that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. I'll catch you in that next one. Peace out, guys.